Hey everyone, my name is Hayley Phillips. I'm from serenity.com, and basically I just wanted to put a video up on my YouTube page about what energy healing is and how it works, because there are a lot of people who don't know about it and who need to know about it because it's basically been such a blessing in my life. And to be honest, I was a skeptic when I first heard about it, and then once I experienced it for myself, I wanted to know how it works, and I wanted to be able to learn how to do it for myself. And now 3 years later, I'm an energy healer. So it's pretty exciting for me. So I'm going to go through the 6 main things that you need to know about energy healing and how it works. So the first thing that I want to explain about energy is that energy is absolutely everything. It's in and through all forms of matter, including us. It's the things that we think, it's the emotions that we feel, and it's, we as human beings, we're actually really, really sensitive to energy. It's like in certain situations where you get that sense of danger, all of a sudden the hairs at the back of your neck will start standing up and you don't know why. All you know is that there's something dangerous. It's because we get a vibe and a read off other people's energy. That's because when it comes to us, we have our physical body, we have our spiritual body, and we have our energy. And so our energy is kind of connected to our spirit and our physical body. And it is basically a readout of who we are, why we behave the way in which we behave, the experiences that we've had, both positive and negative. So when we're around people, we can kind of get a vibe. It's like sometimes you might go into a room and a couple might be, they might look like they're completely happy, but you could tell that they've just had an argument, and it's not because of the body language. Like, they're hiding it really well, they're loving, they're embracing each other, but you can just feel the tension that's in the room, and it feels like you can just cut it with a knife. You know that saying, feel the tension, cut it with a knife? There are lots of sayings out there that kind of allude to the fact that we are sensitive to energy. And so when we're not right within ourselves, we kind of give that energy off. So, you want to have the right energy when you're going into an interview for your dream job. You want to be able to exude the fact that you're confident in yourself and in your abilities, and for that person to get a good read on you, just like, I don't know, I've got a good feeling about them. I feel like I should hire them and they will do the best work as an employee for my company. And those sorts of things. So if you're not confident in yourself and who you are, you give off that vibe. I don't know, something's off. Okay, the second thing that I want to talk to you about are energy systems. Now, when it comes to our energy, just as complex as our physical body is, with its own organs and systems, our energy has its own kind of organs and systems. And when they're flourishing and at their highest, then we feel really good, we feel lots of energy and lots of strength. Unfortunately though, when we experience certain things and we're dwelling on negative thoughts, or negative things happen and we don't deal with them, it can impact our energy systems and the way in which we feel. And if there's enough of a build-up, if it just continues building and building of those same issues, it can actually affect the bodily organs and the areas of our body in and around those energy systems. So there are lots of people who maybe have gone to the doctors about a number of things for certain aches, pains, or conditions, and the doctor's just like, look, we've given you everything that we can give you, we can treat the symptoms, but clearly you need to eliminate stress in your life, or you need to deal with whatever things that are upsetting you. And things will generally flare down. So usually certain conditions, if they flare up, if you're super, super stressed, or you're depressed, or you're highly anxious, then that's a sign that there's like a buildup in your energy that needs to be released. And so as an energy healer, I love to go in and to be able to clear the emotional baggage in order for people's bodies to be able to respond and start healing itself, because the body has this amazing ability to be able to heal itself, but what holds it back is the baggage and the emotional drama that we haven't properly dealt with, that kind of causes like a blockage on our body to be able to heal itself properly. So super, super interesting. There are so many energy systems. Probably the most common are like the aura, the chakras, and the meridians. Meridians are really important for Chinese like acupuncture and qigong and those sorts of things. But there's also the grid, the Celtic weave, the radiant circuits, the energy electrics, the elements, the primary rhythm. There are just so many. There are so many energy systems out there. And society has learned about them even anciently. There are so many different cultures who know and work with different energy fields, energy systems. But essentially for me, I work with all of them. There are probably even more that I don't know about. But once all of them are working at 100%, we feel really good. We're super, super confident. We're the happiest version of ourselves. So energy systems are super, super important. So the third thing that I want to talk to you guys about is basically the power of connections. So in life, probably the best connections that we kind of talked about are connections that we have with family members, friends, loved ones, our children, those sorts of things. And when we share that connection, we share our energy with them. So I think that's kind of where like the mothering instinct comes in, like when a family member could tell that somebody else isn't doing well. It's a vibe through the energy. Oh, something's happening. They're in danger. I need to go see them. That's one of kind of like the plus sides to positive connections. But there's also negative connections that we can have to family members and friends where they kind of drain us. Some people might know them as like energetic parasites or energetic vampires. And that's because they feel like they need you and they begin draining your energy because they're not receiving enough themselves, because there's something going on in their life that's caused them to not receive enough energy. Usually there's something stored in an energy field or it's too low and it needs to be corrected. But we can also be connected to positive and negative things. So like certain emotions, so like depression, anxiety, addictions. We can be positively connected to certain goals that we have, like losing weight or doing well with our job, our career, our life's purpose. So if we want to be connected to positive things, energy healers can connect them up to the positive emotions, the positive goals, or anything that they want. And we can also sever those negative connections to anything that's not serving us, that's diminishing our light, that's diminishing our power, and those sorts of things. So connections are super, super important. So the fourth thing that I want to talk to you about is generational issues. Now, just like our ancestors, how they pass down through the DNA certain physical traits or talents or abilities, they can also pass on their baggage. So there might be certain things you might notice in your family, like there might be a whole bunch of people in your family who are just constant liars, or perhaps like eating disorders or addictions, or they might not lack confidence, or even like anxiety or depression might be passed down through the genetic DNA, I guess, and it might activate in you. And so what happens is, if there's enough of a generational baggage for you, it means that overcoming this trial on your own is going to be extremely difficult. It's like there's this big wall built up and it prevents you from being able to accomplish it, or to get through it, or to overcome it on your own, or without amazing willpower and determination and setting goals. But not a lot of people can get through that. And so one of the great things is that through energy healing, we can be able to release that baggage, that ancestral baggage. And the great thing is that once it's released not only from you, it's released to all of the family members that are connected to that generational baggage, from your kids, from your future posterity, and all your other ancestors who have been passed on, which I think is really, really cool. So I guess it's really important that we understand that a lot of the baggage, the reason why you can't get through those things, it's not because of you, it's because of something that other ancestors have gone through and it's just passed down. But great thing is that it could be released. So the fifth thing that I want to talk to you about when it comes to energy healing is the power of intention. And it's basically how we do our work. And I guess it's why certain people might not feel comfortable with the idea of energy healing, because there's no 100% science behind it. Science hasn't really caught up to what it is that we're doing. But it's the idea of the power of your thoughts and your willpower to be able to make things happen. There's this famous quote, I don't know who it's by, but the quote is, whether you think you can or you can't, either way the outcome is true. So in other words, what you believe in. If you believe that you're a failure and you can't do it, you put that into your energy, and that is what you manifest. That's what comes to you. It's going to be all these situations, and you're going to constantly think that you can't do it. And the opposite can be true. The most highly successful people are ones that believe in themselves and believe that they can overcome great obstacles. And that's because they believe that they can. So if you want to change the way you think, if you want to change the way that you feel, first change your thoughts, the way that you think. And how I do it as an energy healer on a daily basis is, one, by having confidence in myself and abilities. And the second, I'm able to release things through the power of intention by just asking, okay, all these emotions that I've identified during this session, as we breathe in and breathe out, it's going to release. So the final thing that I want to tell you guys about is kinesiology, and it's known by two other names, muscle testing or biofeedback. And it was created by a doctor in the 1960s from America known as George Goodhart. And essentially it was about, he kind of recognized that the muscles had a particular response to positive or negative stimuli. He did it with certain medicines to see which one was more effective for his patients. And we kind of use that in energy healing, energy therapy, kinesiology, to be able to test whether the work that we've done by the power of intention has actually been put in place into a person's energy. So it's kind of like a little positive, negative response. And so a lot of healers will do it by asking the client to stretch their arm out, and they'll just say, you know, hold your arm out and just give your arm enough strength to be able to keep your arm up. And the healer themselves will put pressure on the arm to get a yes or no response. Yes is usually either holds really, really firmly, or it can go down to about there, depending on what's going on in the person's energy. No response usually goes all the way down. And of course, we don't want to have our clients holding their arm up for an entire session. So we'll usually do the work that we need to do and then go back and test it. There are some people who can't obviously hold their arm out, or there are different positions that you could do it in. Some people might get them to place their arm on a table, and then they'll push down like this for a yes or no response. So it's really, really good for healers, because what we could do is we could test. So say if we were working on the issues of trust, okay, does this person still have issues with trust? And it'll either be like, yes, there's still more to be released, or no, we've dealt with all the issues. And then we can go, okay, let's test like a manifestation. Like, I am open to trusting people that I'm in relationships with. And if it holds strong, then you know, oh cool, okay, the work that we've done, it's complete, it's put in place. If not, by the power of attention, we'll say, okay, let's put that in place. And so we put it in place, and we go, okay, let's test it again. Okay, so I am open to trusting people in relationships. And then if it holds strong, then we know that it's worked. And so that's essentially what kinesiology is. And it's an absolutely wonderful tool to be able to ascertain that the work that we've done, that's going to hold in place for our clients, that they're going to be feeling great and open to a really happy life. So essentially that's all the things that you really need to know about energy healing, energy therapy, what it is that I and lots of other people do. And I feel like it's just like this really, really big gift that we need today, because there's so much more pressure on people to be able to be self-reliant, to be able to own their own home, and to not be afraid to have lots of kids, and to live a happy life, and to be able to go into a relationship and not be afraid of things holding you back, or to be able to succeed in life and do wonderful things. And essentially that's what this work is. It's about getting rid of what is holding a person back from being their ultimate happy self, and putting in place things to be able to boost them up, boost their confidence, and feeling really good about themselves. So if there are any questions, feel free to leave them below. Other than that, my name is Hayley Phillips. Thank you for joining me for this video, and I'll catch you next time.